we just place, I need a little space on the top part. I put this space for the top to place this line. And then a little bit, come down here. And then for the face, I imagine this is a good size for the face. And then the rest is for this part. A little bit longer than the model because this is a square and mine is rectangle shape. So imagine this oval shape is good for cat. And both left and right, I try to place it. This is a good start for the face and make it easy. We are not able to see the shape of face, but we can see this triangle shape of the shawl here. So I try to draw that one on this rectangle shape. So start to connect these two lines in a curve, which is this part, together with nice line, a little bit not straight, a little curvy, come down and reach this part. This line. And then for this part, I can just see curve, come here to this point. And now the top part, it's come a little bit here to the face. And then pass this part, move a little further. And then this side of the face come inside of here as a curve. And move on the features, which is the eyes and nose. Just these three parts is visible for us. The mouth is not visible, and the more of the face is not visible. So the eyes, it's in an angle, something like that. It's not straight, it's in an angle. So you can draw one line in an angle on top of the face. We need a little space for the forehead. Draw one line here in angle to show the top of the eyes. And then move a little bit down. This line, it doesn't need to be dark. Just for make easy our drawing. I want to show you how you can do that. This is the bottom of eye. And then the nose is in angle too. So top of the nose, these two part, and then the end. We can draw some line in an angle. Even you can use the ruler and then help you place the features easier in your face, in a face, cat face actually. This is the horizontal line. We need to have a little bit vertical line as well. So the vertical line, it's one here, one for the nose, this part of the nose and this part of the eyes. And I draw one line here. Again, this line is in an angle too. It's not straight. The angle is like that. Like this. A tiny bit. It's not much. If you compare, this is the straight line. This should be in an angle like that. That's so helpful. The eyes here, I draw one line for this point, and then a little bit come further for the nose. Draw one line like this. And the nose is not really big, it's small. So imagine this. And this point of the eye is so close. It's not big space like that. So bring another line so close. Now we need for the end of the eye a little bit big here. I imagine it's good for the eye. I placed the eye exactly on this square shape, the other eye on this square, a little bit rectangle. And the nose here, the rest I need to erase it. So I place this point for the eye, this part of the eye. It's like a diamond. Now you have the top line. Easily you can draw the darker line. Bring it with curve here. We need to place this oval shape like a diamond oval, something like that. Place it here. With the curve. This is one eye. I make it a little pointy, so it doesn't need to be really pointy. It's better to be curved even on this two part. And then the pupil is big oval shape inside. Now I imagine this is the nose part. And this part of the nose, 1, 2, 3 line I divide. This part, it's like 1, 2, 3 line like this. I just draw it a little dark to be visible. And then we can make it curve. This part of the hole comes out. How we can make this color? We already need the brown that we have. It can be reddish brown or it can be dark brown. Both are fine. Dark brown, I mean burnt umber. Reddish brown, burnt sienna. This is the dark burnt umber. I can bring it here. And this is the reddish brown, burnt sienna. They're so close, but this one has a little bit red color inside. Both are fine. It's a first layer and it's watery. The first layer in watercolor is more watery. The second layer is more dry brush. So I'm going to bring the brown here, make it ready. And then yellow ochre. I need yellow ochre. I'm going to use wet brush a little bit on my yellow ochre, which is light. Just come on top of the face, I mean the nose, and under the eyes very gently, and try to use just a tiny bit water inside, not runny. Just make the cat face a little wet with this yellow ochre. Diluted, hold the brush inside and then use this around the eyes. Even on the top part, which is brownie, it's okay to bring yellow ochre. The base is okay. And make sure the top of the eye should be white. Even I add some color here with clean napkin, just lift off, not rub it, just put here and then take out. Put here, take out. That's okay. When it's wet, easily you can lift up the paint. Sorry. Cover here the yellow ochre on the face. But if you work with acrylic, you can add some white color and then add the yellow ochre on top. Any part you see the white, you can add white color. In watercolor, please keep the paper white. And then move on top with the brownie color. Both color, yellow ochre and brown, is wet, so they can mix very gently together. Add some brush stroke like that. It should be really light because this is the first layer. For second layer, we make a little darker. I just add a little tone here because the yellow ochre is still wet. It can be here, add enough water to that because it's a bigger space we would like to work. And I'm not wet the paper. We have two techniques. We can wet the paper and then add dry brush on top. We can wet the paint and then bring it on the dry paper. I find this one is more easier. So this is the bluey color we can work. And we need another brush to have a little bit brown as well. So it's better your cat face be completely dry. If it's not, please make it dry by hair dryer. And then with the light blue color, we would like to work around. It is light and dark, and with the amount of water, we can make our paint light to show light or dark. I add a drop of water here more and make my paint a little lighter, you see? And then very gently come close to the face. You can even keep a tiny space white as a paper, would be okay. Very gently touch this part to reach the lighter color. And then lay down, hold the brush on your paint, on your surface to do like that, because we don't want to see the line. When you lay down, hold the brush, easily you can cover your surface with the wet brush. And very clean, bring it like that. Some part we use tip of the brush, for some part we use whole the brush. And I have enough water in my paint, so still it's wet. So it gives me a chance to bring a little darker tone beside that. So I just go like that. I need the shadow part to bring exactly on this part. And the shadow part, I can add a little tiny bit brown into the blue to make darker color and bring it here. When it's wet, I don't need to do anything. They already mix together. But just the tip of brush, bring the shadow here and then leave it get dry. I just separate this line and then I can wait a little bit, get dry. Then I can make it more dark. Because if I add more darkness now, it's moved to the light tone. I don't want that. Like this would be enough. And then the bottom part of the shawl is darker. So depend on what kind of paper you use, because some paper dries so fast. Some paper give you more chance to get dry. For example, mine is 100% cotton, so it takes more time to get dry. If yours is 25, it's better not let it completely dry. Something in between. Clean your brush very well, but it has still the water. One drop of water, put this, and another drop of water, leave this. One here, just clean drop of water, bring it one time, and let it do it by itself. It can make some technique for you. When I add a drop of water, I am waiting to see what happened. But the paper shouldn't dry. After it gets dry, nothing happened. Color, I don't want to add the new color, just the blue color. Add here, but try to use enough water to let the brush move easily on this big surface. And make this part wet, but still between these two folds, it's in shadow. For the shadow part, I'm going to add darker blue, which is cobalt, or even ultramarine if you have, both fine. Mix with brown. And then use one line to make this shadow part. And when it's wet, it's already moved to the wet surface and make the beautiful texture. Bring it darker. And for the strip, it's just a light blue color. And then I can design it a little bit more. Everything be dry completely. We don't need to work on a wet surface because it's make the painting dirty. When you touch it, should be completely dry. And now I want to just make a little bit darker as a shadow part to make darkness powerful. So going to add cobalt blue, a little bit brown into that to make the shadow part. Just with the tip of brush this time, I want to separate this part of the fold to make the line darker. Even if you are not comfortable with a bigger brush, you can go with a smaller brush. I can see more darker tone here. The bigger part, so I can lay down to fade it to the background like that. And even this part of the fold is dark too. A triangle shape here I can see. And I use very less water in my paint to make it darker. help me move my paint like that. Then I'm going to add a little yellow ochre, bring here, and you see it's already darker in my palette when you compare it with the face, because it's really less water inside. I'm going to start with lighter tone, which is yellow ochre, and with the tip of brush, try to, everywhere should be dry. Try to start from one part, like under the eye. Draw some small line here, and keep some part as a background color that I already see, like that. Small line. You keep some part as a light that you already have it. But be careful, even when we work randomly, we need to keep some part lighter tone, and we need to add a little like brownie tone here as a line, like that, to add some darker tone here. Even you can place the line on the other way. But even if it's not comfortable for you to do that, to make it hair like this, hold the brush, one stroke, like this, bring it inside with a stroke. Just have a napkin in your hand to let it be dry. You see, I bring the dry brush here. It's already make me some part be darker, some part just the background. I can do dry brush with the darker green, darker brown be more visible. Diluted, hold the brush into that, touch the napkin, so it's already reduced the amount of water, and help the brush be dark, be dry. When you bring it on top, you can hear the sound. It's not easy to move the brush here, and you already see it's like fairy hair, or the hair of cat can make by this technique. And this just happened, this technique, with the watercolor. With acrylic, you can do some dark color on top and bring some lighter tone with a smaller brush, like the hair, and let it fade into the darkness. light blue color. We already have it. We use it for the background of the fabric. So we bring it here. Just a little bit water we need to have inside, not watery. And then we use a little bit green, any green you have, like sap green, hooker green, any green you have. Bring it a little bit, mix with the blue. That makes turquoise color. And I'm going to make it dry again, not watery, because it's a small part. So to touch the napkin with a small size of brush, first of all, I'm going to add the green. Doesn't need to be worried about the white part. We will add that by acrylic paint. Even the pupil is okay. You can cover the circle or most of the part with the green. And then we will bring not yellow, we will bring the black color and the white color on top by white by acrylic or gouaches if you have. And then until this part, I'm not going to use black in watercolor. Most of the time we have a gray color for that, but if you don't have any gray, we can make like mixing dark blue with brown to reach the really dark color like a black. I use dark blue, ultramarine blue with brown, dark brown, Van Dyke or burnt umber. And when I use very less water in my paint, it's really dark. And you already can see it's dark. Look like black. So the green is dry. With a narrow brush, with a tip, I try to shape the eye more clear. You see, when I add this line, it looks like a black. And it's like the diamond, so I keep this shape. The bottom part should be more narrow. It doesn't need to be really black. And this is the pupil, which is oval shape from top to bottom. I need to make this part a little bit yellow ochre. I will bring that a little later. Just make sure to fix the shape of the eye. It's better to use acrylic brush because acrylic has a glue inside and a stick to the surface. So sometimes damage the watercolor brushes. So I'd recommend to go with the acrylic brush, but if you don't have it, it's okay to use it and just so fast wash with the water. So, oops, heavy paint. Just with the tip of brush, bring it inside this part. With the tip of brush, I'm going to use one stroke on this part of the eye, one stroke on the other side to make the eye light. Even on here, I need one line here to add. You see, pass from here. And the reason I use acrylic paint, because watercolor is transparent, but acrylic is heavy paint. It can sit on top of any transparent color. If you already work with the acrylic paint, it's okay. You can use the shine with the white color. But for viscous and the other part that it's more liney, need to add a drop of water and make the white color be runny like that, because that helps us to move the line easily. With the tip of really narrow brush, put it here and draw one line randomly. It's not easy to add a line very narrow, I know, but you can practice even on the other paper. Randomly just add some line. You don't have to add a lot. Just one or two would be enough. It's so related to the tip of brush that make it narrow. And do it randomly. We don't need to think about the line. We just need to put the brush somewhere and just leave our hand to move and make the line easily. And please not repeat the line that you are even not happy with. Leave it like that. We don't need to repeat it. When you repeat it, you make the line thick and heavy.